All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is 4 p.m. West Coast time. Let's see, I'm going to say it's about 1 p.m. Hawaii time, 7 p.m. on that there East Coast time, 6 p.m. for our Central Time folk. And it looks like we have got some Central Time folk and some Hawaii folk in the house. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. And we have got an East Coaster sliding on in as well. Gina Gamba, E-Music, Rick, Hokulea T, and Darlene all here. And so great to see Rick and Darlene, who've been up north doing up north things, getting their little cabin all ready for the summer shenanigans that they will be sharing with us, hopefully. Now, granted, we already know that Rick and Darlene love to share with us their wonderful tropical vacations. But if you remember correctly, last summer we got to take a trip to their cabin quite a bit in this summer. And so hopefully this summer we will get to pretend that we have our very own cabin once again that we will visit on occasion, or at least get updates from. And that would be, of course, thanks to Rick and Darlene. All right, we are going to get the party started, and then we'll be back. There we have it, and that's exactly it. E-Music, Cabin on a Lake with Rick and Darlene. And Rick on a phone call but watching. That's great, Rick. I do have a moderated screen in the background as well in case some nasties come in, so we are kind of covered because Gina is here as well. And so I think we've got some the bases are at least barely covered. I'm not going to say we're fully staffed, because that's famous last words. I think we might be good for a minute. Second famous last words, I guess. Hokulea T, you are totally right. It is so much fun to armchair travel through everyone's trip photos. It definitely saves on the bank account, although it does put some credits in the envy account, as it were. Like, oh, I wish it was there. I envy them right now. And so, Darlene, this time around, all we could share would be the mosquitoes. That is so funny. But now we're ready to go for the fun. Perfect. Yeah, we definitely, that is one thing that the armchair traveling does benefit. No need for sunscreen. No need for mosquito repellent. And let's see here. And then, exactly, E-Music, in our chatter travel, there's no losing luggage. Precisely. And you know, though, what I think, let's see here. I don't see any, okay, so Gina's coming in. I see that YouTube is up, but I don't see YouTube chat on the Twitch side. That is frustrating. So let's see what we can do about that. All right, well, hold on. All right, never mind. Thought I was gonna get a fourth, but whew. All right, so if somebody could go to YouTube and type testing KK, or I don't know, you can type whatever you want to type. Let's see what is going on here, because I thought that I double checked everything. Oh my goodness. But apparently, whatever it is that's in my house right now is making me sneeze. I'm so sorry, you guys. But apparently it did not check everything. So, we will definitely look into that. Because basically... Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Oh, Gina, you are so awesome. Testing KK, says Gina from YouTube side. Gina, I'm seeing it coming through. I think maybe the only reason why there was no e-music. Testing KK. Oh, you guys are so wonderful. There we go. Testing KKs. KK, I think that everything on my end, it looks like everything's good. I think the only reason why chat wasn't coming through from YouTube was because there's nobody on YouTube to like give some chats. So, so it never hurts to double check though. Boy, does it never hurt to double check. And so, so now I guess the question is, and Picola T, exactly. Remember, just two. It's either 2Ks or 4, but never 3. No. I mean, I understand if you get an extra little type, accidental finger typo there, but like, let's strive for no 3Ks. And okay, so I guess the next question is, which I could find out on my own, I suppose. Let's go find this out on my own, I suppose. Alright, no, okay. Okay, cool, yeah, so I'm seeing Twitch chat coming through onto YouTube, and I'm seeing YouTube chat coming through onto Twitch, which for the most part is all we can hope for. So I think we are buckled in and ready. We've got Andy Boomatai on the YouTube side, at least for a little bit. Yeah, you've got some homework maybe to do there, Mr. Man. Andy, you've got your own show to take care of. But I love that you're listening to me in the background while you're doing your own homework. And I have to say, another thing that I love about this community that Andy has basically created is all of us are creating in our own way. Even if we don't have our own YouTube channels, we're still creating in our own way, as we know, because Rick and Darlene and Picola T have been great with sharing their traveling creations, right? Well, we also have this wonderful person named C Honda, and C Honda, she helps with me to create stuff. She helps with Andy to create stuff, but you guys, she's a bona fide creator herself now. Indeed. C Honda has her own YouTube channel. Now, I don't have the link to it off the top of my head. If I did, I would be posting it. I'll probably get that taken care of later on, and I'll certainly be putting a post to the link in the description. But I want to sneeze. But before I sneeze, no, hold on. I don't know what is with me today, but what I do know what's with me is, as soon as I find it, C Honda has a YouTube channel, and every time I say her name, I want to sneeze. So what I'm going to do instead is show you one of the videos that she has posted on her YouTube channel, and perhaps we can all subscribe to C Honda and support this new creator that has come out of our community. So let's watch one of her videos. You good? Oh, you chicken.
You're chicken. No, I scared you away.
Can you imagine the other ones who's come over? Oh my god.
Oh no, he's gonna bring some more for his friends are gonna come. Oh,
She ate it all.
well.
All right, there we have it, Rabbit. So, as Darlene mentioned, let's see here, let's get that fixed. As Darlene mentioned, yes, kitties have to be brave and chase the chicken away, or that food will be gone. Yes, definitely a chicken kitty. Although, actually, I think if it was a chicken kitty, they wouldn't have been so afraid to chase that rooster away, because chickens are kind of, they're a little bossy. And let's see here, let's see, what roosters are generally, yeah, exactly. And this video did remind me for, oh, hey, wait, hold on, rewind. Oh, Puzzicat T, you're going to be in my neighborhood this next weekend, but not enough time for a meetup. That is super bummer, but I'm excited to hear about where you're going to be traveling to, because I know that you spend a lot of time here in the Pacific Northwest and other places, so not sure if this is going to be a stop-off for you or an actual sit-down minute. Oh, you're going to be hanging in Tacoma? Awesome. And yeah, Darlene and Lissy, totally. Roosters are, as it were, literally, actually. You know what? I think I can say this. Roosters are cocks, right? I mean, are they not? And so, yeah, and they sometimes act like that. This video reminded me of back in the day. I lived in the house that I live in now, but my neighbors, across the street neighbors, for whatever reason, and they only did this once, and I don't know why they did this. I don't know if they did this for reasons of eggs or other. But one day they had a flock of chickens just show up. And they were chickens in their backyard that they wanted in their backyard. And my cat Whiskey, he was an orange cat, and he loved to hunt. And he especially loved to hunt birds. I mean, birds were kind of, well, that's not really true. He was just a hunter. He loved to hunt. And so he's on my front porch, and he sees this flock of ground birds, right? From across the street, and they're just walking in and amongst the broken down cars and the boats and whatever. And he is just I could tell he was enthralled. I mean, mesmerized, right? And so he's on the hunt. And from across the street, obviously he can tell that they're birds, but I don't think he realized the size of the birds. So he's getting in, supreme hunter mode. And I watch him, because this is this is going to be interesting. And so he crosses the street all stealth. Nobody sees him. I mean, get real. And he goes in for the stealth. Yeah, I'm going to go rule the roost, right? He is in that backyard for probably 3.5 seconds. And suddenly, he is coming right back across the street. His eyes are the size of flippin' saucers. I mean, now my cats have all grown up around busy streets. He was an alley cat from downtown Seattle. Very street savvy, very street smart. he knows to like, look across this, look both ways before you cross the street type of thing. No F's given. He was getting the flying fork out of that backyard. Those feathered dinosaurs apparently teamed up on him, and they were not the tiny birds that he had anticipated. Once he got to see them face to face, and he realized the birds were as tall as he was, he got so frightened and ran across the street. Didn't look both. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. There was no cars coming, but he would have been killed if there had been a car coming, because he was not. The only focus in that cat's mind was get the heck out of this dinosaur boneyard, because he's gonna get eaten. So I had one cat that thought he was a little bit cocky, and he found out that no, those hens can rule the roost better than one seemingly streetwise cat. That is right, he was streetwise. He was an alley cat. He was not a farm cat. And boy, did he learn some farm cat lessons that day real quick. And let's see here. Darlene, Cindy Krause just recently had a chicken show up on her property. She doesn't know from where, and she can't seem to get rid of him. And he's been sneaking the cat's food too. Well, hey, now she's got a new chicken buddy. She's got a new pet, I guess. So maybe throw down some chicken meal or whatever, because chickens are really good to have, in your yard and eating all your little bugs, etc., etc. And hey there, PPP Bang, how you doing? We are just right now talking about the wonders and the frightenings of the chickens. And wild chickens showing up in your yard, and how most cats are very smartly afraid of chickens, even though chickens are birds, and cats love birds. When chickens attack, it's a whole other thing, right? And speaking of when chickens attack, okay, so I was at this museum once. Chickens are magical. Chickens are magical. Chickens are yummy. Chickens are stupid. Chickens are super smart. Chickens are everything. Chickens are all of the things. Because chickens are basically dinosaurs. Honestly, I really do think that they are the remnants of dinosaurs. And one day I was at this museum. It was outside. It was in South Dakota, I think. It was like a plains museum. A homesteader museum is what it was. And it was an actual homestead, like built into the earth home. And, all of the well and the, former barn, etc. And there was chickens that still lived there. Presumably from the homestead time, but I have no idea. It doesn't really matter. Either way, the chickens enjoyed the barn area a lot. And the chickens did not appreciate anybody coming into the barn area, even though the barn area was part of the museum tour. And so you go over to the barn area, and I kid you not, every single one of the chickens, I don't know if it was because of animosity, or if it was just because they were trained, or if they just had nothing better to do with their lives, but they would all bite at your Achilles heel. So if you were walking through, it's South Dakota, it's summertime, it's kind of hot, right? So if you're wearing like slippers, sandals, if you're wearing shorts, if you're wearing whatever, these stupid chickens, dude, or maybe they're smart, because it got me to leave. You walk around this area, and they would just come at you and nip at your Achilles heel. And I'll tell you what, man, nothing ruins a perfectly nice museum visit than chickens biting at your Achilles heel. And at PPP Bang, y'all actually have wild chickens? What the heck? Well, okay, so in the state of Washington, I've only seen wild chickens once. Where I was in South Dakota, like I said, I don't know if they were wild chickens or if they were just ornery and part of the museum experience. But in Hawaii, absolutely there are wild chickens, a lot of places. And let's see here. Wait, hold on. Nicole T, years ago, hubby shared video of folk duo we saw at DC Festival. His YouTube video had hundreds of views because he included the name of the musical duo video titled They Were Naked Blue. Nicola T, I'm telling you, sometimes you are totally right. How you name a video absolutely gets high clicks. Because I have some videos that for some, like the video actually, Nicola T, that you helped create with the burgers, the ranking of the burgers in Hawaii, I think I named that video like, let's rank some burgers. Oh my gosh, dude, people were like, yes, let's rank some burgers. So many hits on that video, and nobody watches it through the end. Like once they realize it's like, oh, it's just Hawaii stuff, I think they like leave or whatever. But yeah, seriously, the name of your video can make a huge difference with the number of clickety clicker clicks. And let's see here. And PPP thing, the closest thing we have to chickens are pheasants. Some of them are stubborn. Yeah, they refuse to move. You're just driving up the road. That reminds me of two things. Okay, first off, we actually have wild pheasants in my area. I almost bought a house down in the river valley, probably like less than 5 miles from where I live now. Actually, probably more like less than 2 miles from where I live now that I think about it. There was this cute little house in this river valley. It was my perfect size for me. But the reason why I loved the house was because the first time that I saw that it was on the market, drove there myself and spotted it out, scoped it out. There was a pheasant in the front yard, and I was like, oh my God, there's a pheasant. I wonder if it belongs to them, if it's wild. And so then I scoped it out at a different time of the day, and the pheasant was there again. I was like, oh my God, I love this house because it has a pheasant. And so then I saw the house with the real estate agent, actually talked to the owner of the house, or one of the owners of the house. And I was like, what's up with the pheasant? And she's like, oh my God. She's like, you've seen the pheasant? My husband loves the pheasant. He feeds the pheasant and blah, blah. I was like, oh, is that why? So apparently it was a wild pheasant, and it hung out at the house all the time. And so there you go. Cindy Krause complaining about poop everywhere, I'm assuming, with the chicken that Cindy, your friend Mel took the chicken that adopted you, took it to a farm. Okay, that makes sense. And PPP bag, yeah, that's probably why the pheasant keeps coming up. The husband was feeding it. Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt about that. But it was also it was a logical place for a pheasant to be, in the sense that it was on a riverbank. There was a lot of nature around anyway. But yeah, the reason why it kept hanging out in that yard for sure was because of the husband. I have no doubt in my mind. So I love the wild pheasants. We have them. I've never had the problem that you've had with the pheasant. However, when I was 16, I was taking my driver's test, and one of the, we're driving around town, and the instructor told me, turn into this dirt alleyway. So I turned into the dirt alleyway, and there's a huge flock of ducks just in the middle of the dirt alleyway, and it's huge, and they're not wild ducks, I don't think. They belong to somebody. It was like a flock of the white ducks, and white ducks aren't native to around here. Maybe they were geese, I don't know, it doesn't matter. There was a huge flock of them, and they just stood there and stared at me. And I'm in the middle of my driver's test, right? And I'm just thinking, so I'm sitting there in the driver's seat, like, okay, and I'm going through all of the chapters of the driver's book, and it's like, wild animals, yielding, go slow, blah, blah. It's like ducks. What do you do about ducks? I don't think there was anything in the book about ducks. Duck, and so I just sat there for a while, and finally and I was like, do I honk? And so I honked, and they didn't move. And so then the driver's ed guy was like, well, just go forward. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure if I kill a duck, I am not going to pass this test, right? So I slowly, I mean, inch, and they grudgingly thinking about getting out of the way eventually. But yeah, I didn't pass that test because the ducks basically screwed me up. From that point on, I was just so nervous. The ducks, yeah, I blame the ducks. And it looks like we've got Felicia coming in. Good to see you. No wild chickens. You have foxes snacking on the unsuspecting creatures. You know, we used to have a fork ton. It's not what I was about to say. We used to have a fork ton of coyotes hanging out in West Seattle. And I work in a home in West Seattle that's along this Longfellow Creek watershed. So it's very, it's very naturalized. It's a green belt, basically. There's no, you know, it's not built up or anything. And so we would have a lot of coyotes that live in that green belt. Well, and we would have no bunnies. Well, now I haven't seen a coyote in like a couple years, but oh my goodness, we have so many bunnies. We have so many bunnies. So I'm fairly certain that the coyotes aren't here anymore, because if we had the coyotes, we would not have the bunnies that we've got. And so, like you, it's like, well, the foxes, they're going to get the chickens. And at Puzzicat Tea, I did have post-traumatic duck syndrome. I really did. I did. It ruined the rest of that driver's test. And I absolutely, I absolutely didn't pass that driver's test. And so let's see here. Cindy, your chicken just showed up and was roosting in the garage. You think it's because you put Hawaiian words on your walls before they hung the sheetrock? Oh, could be. You attracted the little chicken from Hawaii. And let's see here. So PPP Bang, you once hit a deer with your car but managed to brake quite heavily. Oh, right, so your speed was like 10 miles an hour when you hit the poor fellow. Oh no, that, you know, so I'm assuming that both the deer and the car survived. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of an injury to both your car or the deer. I got hit by a car once, and it was literally like, it was going pretty much 0 miles an hour, and I got hit by that car. How does that work? Easy. The car was parked. I was walking in front of the car. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. I was in front of the car. The car was parked, and the dude decided to start driving. He decided to leave. He was going to leave the parking, the street parking. And it was like, dude, I'm right in front of your car. Anyway, he tapped my knee with his bumper, like going 1 mile per hour at the most, right? And then when he saw that he hit somebody, he stopped. But oh my God, dude, that 1 mile, I mean, like barely tapped my knee with the car. The car was not, had barely started moving. Oh my God, dude, my knee was injured for like a while afterward. I was walking with a limp. It really hurt. And basically the car, I mean, of course it's gonna hurt. You got hit by a car. No, really, I didn't get hit by a car. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Technically, yeah, I got tapped by a car, but okay, so Puzzicat Tea, same here. The truck tapped you when you were in the driveway, and it was amazing how sore you were for days. Right, I mean, you don't think you're injured. There's not even a bruise, but like the insides are just like, wow, that was a little bit traumatic. Like that, and so, let's see here. Oh no, wait, hold on. Okay, cool, PP. Everyone survived the the deer accident. Yeah. And let's see here. Darlene, though, on the other hand, saying that deer accidents can be awful, and totally glad you weren't seriously hurt. Your daughter was in one pretty bad accident. She didn't get hurt. Her car totaled. The deer dead. Well, you know, in a way, though, it's almost better that the deer dies rather than, like, wanders away injured. You don't know where to find it, and it's suffering. I mean, obviously, that's, like, the most morbid of silver linings you could find, but yeah. And, let's see here. And, option. You had a car hit you that didn't come to a full stop at a stop sign while he was making a right-hand turn. You fell on the hood, wrecked his car. Luckily you were unharmed. Yeah, because that sounds like that could have been, that sounds like that was a tap that was maybe a little bit more significant than the little knee tap that I ended up getting. And so good for you being all bouncy and rubbery. And let's see, so speaking though of animals and hitting them in your car, fun fact, you guys, not really, but sort of. All right, so you know how there's that phrase, deer in the headlights, you know, and you can generally see deers in the headlights, usually because it's their eyes are reflecting back at you and they're just standing there frozen because they don't know what the flying fork to do when your headlights are coming at them at high speed. Okay, that's cool. So you see the deer because of their reflection of the headlight, of their eyes in the headlights. Did you know that that doesn't happen with moose? And did you know why that doesn't happen with moose? Moose are so big and so tall that their eyes are above headlight level. So they're not going to reflect. They might be in the middle of the road. They might be looking right at you. But they're not going to have the light reflecting on their eyeballs, because their eyeballs are too high up in the air than your headlights hit. So if you're in moose country, just remember, moose and deer are not the same thing. Moose are so much bigger than deer that they can literally be in the middle of the road and you won't see them because they're too big to be seen. If that makes any sense. And yes, exactly, PB. Moose can be enormous. Exactly. Yes, moose are huge. Yeah, Charlene, they are huge beasts. Precisely. I mean, yeah, it's a big, they are huge. So when driving in moose areas, just, you know, keep in mind how large they are and that you're never going to see their lights reflect in your headlights. You might as well, you're just as likely to drive into a black brick wall as you are a moose. You're not going to see it coming. And yeah, they are not to be messed with. They can mess you up if they get mad. Exactly. And they don't even really have to be that mad to like mess you up. In fact, they can just be overly curious and kind of mess you up just because of the size differential. And so, yeah, the moosies and the meesies are huge species. And yeah, I just said that. Whatever. Shut up. That was stupid. I know. And Cindy, so it was a brown bear that was in your town, ended up in a tree, and they took it to the Las Padres forest. That's good. That is very good. Around here, actually, we see black bear, not in my neighborhood, but just off the 405 one morning, I saw a mama bear and her little baby cubs literally off the side of 405 one day. And then just the other day, I would say maybe last week, there's a town called Issaquah that's just in the foothills. It's just on the other side of Lake Washington, basically, from Seattle. And yeah, there's a big old black bear that was just wandering the streets. And they didn't really do anything about it because they're like, well, the mountains are right there, and he was here first. So I'm not really sure what happened to that black bear. Everybody's attitude was just like, we're in his neighborhood, so we'll just let him wander. And let's see here. So the swans are so beautiful. Let's see here. It says PPP Bang. You love seeing them when they come back from the south to enjoy their summers here. I don't doubt that, but from what I understand, swans are kind of, they're kind of have a word that I want to use, but I don't want to use it. But they're kind of crotchety. They're kind of ornery. They can be kind of mean, from what I understand. I mean, geese are pretty ornery, but swans, from what I understand, can also be a little bit territorial, a little testy. Basically, it's just best to watch the beautiful swans from far, far away. And, yeah, exactly. That was exactly the word I was trying to avoid. I have been known to slip on this stream, and words that are less than ideal have fallen out of my mouth. But as a general rule, I try not to say the bad words. And yes, the B word was exactly the bad word I was thinking of. They can be a little yes. And and Darlene coming in. Swans, especially in pairs and mated, can be mean. The male is very protective. Yeah, not at all surprised that once they're mated, and if there's little, once they got little, no, not goslings, those are geese. Little swanlings. Once they get little swanlings, watch them from far away. Far away. Yeah, you have to respect the swans for pairing up for life. Yeah, and geese do too. Although I have to say it is kind of sad sometimes. I remember when I used to drive, I had to go back to my hometown on a very regular basis, and there was this nesting pair of Canadian geese that were always in this certain spot on the railroad. Anyway, I always knew to look for this pair of geese. Well, one day, one of the geese had passed away. And so to see that other goose just for years upon years, well, 2 years, alone in that nesting spot, oh, it just broke my heart. It was so beautiful and so sad, but I felt so bad for the little goose, because I knew that it was just like, well, he's done, like his mate went away, and so I don't think do they get second chances? I don't know. And Cindy Krause, your dad had some geese, and they used to rush the mailman. The mailman would toss the package and run. Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. My mom told me about one of her friends growing up had a pet goose, and she hated going over to their house because it was completely like, a race between getting from the front gate to the front door before the goose noticed her. Because if the goose noticed her, it was all bets were off. Like she would just get bitten everywhere. Oh my gosh, Cindy, the geese would get on the roof and then fly down at the guy. Oh, PPP bang, you are so right. Oh man, the mailman was not paid enough for that. Not even. Oh my. Darlene, what cures mosquito bites? You have a few really bothering me and trying not to scratch them. My sister used to, she used to get eaten by mosquitoes. I don't know why. My sister and I both have the same blood type, and some people say that it has to do with the blood type, but I don't think it does, because my sister and I have the same blood type. Mosquitoes wouldn't pay any attention to me, but they loved her. She, to this day, actually, my sister is, for me, the best mosquito repellent there is, because I just need to be next to her, and they just go to her, and they ignore me. It's wonderful for me, but for her, not so much. And she has found that, oddly enough, she has found rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol works just great. She just puts rubbing alcohol on the mosquito bite, and it dries it out, and it makes it so it doesn't itch. And she also found out once when we were on vacation and we didn't have any rubbing alcohol in the hotel room, and she was covered in mosquito bites and going nuts. She found out that bourbon and scotch, which we did have in the hotel room, worked just as well as rubbing alcohol. So, don't tell Rick that I'm telling you to use his rum, but if you don't have rubbing alcohol, apparently, according to my sister, any kind of alcohol works to dry the mosquito bite up, and when it dries up, it won't itch that bad. There we go. So it looks like you've tried cornstarch paste, anti-itch cream, and nothing lasts long. Yeah, try the rubbing alcohol. And I don't know why I had this with arm's reach. I can't remember what I was doing last night, but clearly something involving rubbing alcohol. And so, yeah, try the rubbing alcohol, my friend. And because here's the deal. The rubbing alcohol is not going to hurt you, and you probably already have it in the house. So, you know, there you go. Okay, so I'm about to go crazy with sneezing, and I need to blow my nose, which means we're going to take a Lono listening break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the Hokulea, and we're going to at least talk about the Hokulea. We might talk about something else, but we're definitely going to talk about the Hokulea. So, Darlene, should you maybe drink some alcohol? Well, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I'm not sure it would hurt. Well, actually, you know what? All right, hold on. No. 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 No drinky the alcohol-y. Not this kind. But since you are going to go get Rick a little rum drink, it might not hurt for you to make yourself a little rum drink, and then maybe dab some of the rum on your little, put it on like perfume, or put it on your mosquito bites. But no, should you drink alcohol? 1000% not this kind. The other kind, though, might actually work. So, we're going to take a Lono listening break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Hokulea. And there we have it, Rabbit. That's the plan for the action. Boop.
Thank you, Ann, Elise, Ware. Thank you very much. Hammer Jang Gang. Check that out, huh? Styling. You got them straight? Okay, yeah. Break out. Okay, let me see. Make sure the bug is straight, okay? Let me see. Okay. Let's go. Hono uli vai.
Hoi, hoi, kako.
Hena ni ke kai o puko o.
Hoi, hoi, kako.
Hena ni ke kai o kapa'akea.
Hoi, hoi, kako.
Hena ni ke kai o Molokai. Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Hoi.
Ke kai o puko
Hoi, hoi, kako.
Hena ni ke kai o kapa'akea
Hoi, hoi, kako.
Hena ni ke kai o Molokai Hoi, hoi, hoi
Hoi.
Okay, made it through. Thank you, Ann. Thank you very much.
All right, there we have it. So, no, actually, Rick, I think that Lono would 1000% approve of that whole, it's like full throttle ahead, no brakes. That is Lono for certain. And oddly enough, I had to approve Lono. Apparently, the Autobot was like, I don't really know if that's a good word or not. It's just like, okay, you can, whatever, dude. But now it's okay to say Lono on the channel, apparently. We weren't allowed to type that before. Weird. Gina, this song 100% is about cruising. Well, sort of. This song is about an annual race outrigger canoe race where they start in Maui, I believe, and they have to go across the channel to Molokai, and basically it's the race to Molokai, and so when you hear in the background chant, "Hoi hoi kako," what that means is row, row, all of us. It's a chant that a lot of the outrigger canoeists. That is what they do when they're trying to keep in time. The whole point, or the ideal outrigger canoe pace and cadence, is every paddler is in 100% sync with one another in stroke and in time. And when you get that precision, you go, super. All of the energy is spent cruising super fast, and so. So you are right. This is it is a song basically about outrigger racing, and so there you have it, Rabbit and Stream Elements and Rick. Thanks so much. Yeah, let's all row. Exactly. And so it's one of my favorite songs of his. It always just fills me with glory and joy, as it were. And okay, so it looks like. All right, I had something kind of important to talk about, and we're going to get there. But before that, I want to tell Puzzicat, because it looks like Puzzicat was here. And let's see here. Yeah, but all right, I'm going to go backwards again. Darlene, like in boating competitions, there's a captain or head person saying stroke, or lead person saying stroke, stroke. Yes, and I believe On the outrigger, the person in back, the Hokulea, is the one, the navigator, the one who is doing the rudder. He is the one, or she is the one, who generally does that cadence, as it were. And then if it's not the number 6 position, if it's not the Hokulea, it's the number 3 position that calls it. They're like second in command. And the positions obviously are, I'm assuming, there's 6 people in a boat, right? So position 3, position 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there you go. So there we go. And another fun little fact, Lono, having spent so much time on the water, surfing, beach guarding, and rowing, outrigger rowing, there's a lot of, he brings his beach life to his music in a lot of weird ways. So, there's one particular song that many of you here on the channel already know of, even though I haven't played it in a long time. It's called That's What She Does. And it's a Lono tune, basically celebrating, women. But there are some lyrics in that particular song that hint to outrigger rowing. For instance, in one of the verses, Lono states, number 3, you call it, just keep it smooth. Now, in the context of That's What She Does, it's a very confusing line. But basically, what it is, he just slipped that line in because it fit. But what that is it's the Hokelea's instruction, the number 6 position, telling the number 3 position, hey, you take over. Number 3, you call it. Just keep it smooth. And so, little fun fact there, little outrigger knowledge that I never picked up on. And yes, exactly, Cindy. Aha, that's what she does. Exactly. And it is Picola T. Exactly. We refer to it as the naughty song. Yes, but really, actually, it's not that naughty of a song. It's got some innuendos. But yeah, the number 3, you call it, just keep it smooth. That line always stuck out to me and never made sense. I didn't understand the context. I didn't understand how or what, whatever, it worked. Well, I played that song for my old college roommate who happened to be an outrigger paddler, and she heard that line and was like, oh, that's cute. He must, how he slipped that in. I'm like, what are you even talking about? And so she explained to me what that meant. I have since confirmed with Lono that is indeed what that means. So I'm not just making stuff up. But yes, as it turns out, the Hokulea, number 3, you call it, because number 3 is not the Hokulea normally. The number 6 is the one who usually calls it. So number 6 is telling number 3, hey, you call it. Just keep it smooth. So now you know. And I might have to play that song later on. And Puzzicat, I should do a Lono night, play his music, and explain the story behind each song. I could do that to a degree. However, I have to say, Puzzicat, there was a time that Lono was considering doing a podcast in regard of just that, for he would be hosting it, and frankly, he would be a much better person to host it than myself. Though I am a Lono-brarian, I am not Lono. He knows the stories behind the songs, and so I generally refrain saying too much because on the hopes that he gets his act together and decides to do that stream, I don't want to take his show from him. On the other hand, he's so busy doing other stuff that he's probably never going to get to that stream, so maybe I should steal it. I will definitely keep that on the back burner. But Puzzicat, I'm glad to see you here. And this is a completely different story. Nobody else but Picola T and I care about this probably, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So, Puzzicat. Okay, so I get up this morning at 6 in the morning, and I'm not ready to get out of bed, but I have to go use the room to rest. I walk into the bathroom, and who do I see on on a big shelf in my bathroom? Well, it's Leo, and Leo is sleeping his best snooze. He's just snoozing, and then he woke. I guess he heard me, and he kind of woke up, and he was definitely like stretching in his own little world. He looked up and he sort of glanced over at me, and then he saw me for a second, but clearly it didn't comprehend. And then I could see that it comprehended. And he was like, "Oh!" And he really woke up. And so then he, well, no, he stayed there. I, cleaned up and went back to bed. But then I heard him hop down off the shelf. So I got back out of bed to see what he was doing. He went and went and climbed the cat tree and woke up my Dusty, because Dusty was sleeping where he wanted to sleep, even though he was perfectly good until he woke up. So he kicked Dusty off of the prime sleeping location on the cat tree. And so then Dusty was kicked off a cat tree and just like looking up at Leo like, "But I was so happy up there." And so then I picked up Dusty and brought him back to bed with me. So that is our Leo update for the day, you guys. I know that nobody but Puzzicat and I care, but that's okay. And yes, Darlene, Leo is back. I knew that he wouldn't be gone for long. I mean, I definitely have enough faith in my wild feral tomcats to survive multiple weeks away from the homestead, and then it's like they'll be back. They'll be back, and he's back, living his best sleeping life. And and so let's see here. PvP Bang, you just turned 25 last March. That is fantastic. And I am turning 50. Turning 50 in 2 weeks exactly. So I just looked at I realized we will be celebrating my 50th together, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. And so we're looking at almost 50 here. And we've got some folks who are just, as they like to say, they survived the 60s twice, both the 1960s and their 60s. Very clever of you to catch that, by the way, PP Bang. And let's see here. So Darlene, your youngest daughter's turning 40. And so Rick, that's awesome. That is hysterical. Older Budweiser here. And yes, Picola Tea, exactly. That is, yes, AARP is knocking on my door. This is, let's see, I don't know if that's, you can see, obviously you can see AARP, notification of benefits. They said that there was a card enclosed here, but there was not. They're big liars. But yeah, it begins. It begins. But what I was wondering is, what? Oh, and Gina, you were 43 a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so basically, PPP Bang, you're not the youngest one here. I mean, you probably are the youngest one here today. But we do have a part of the Statterbox crew named Vanilla Coke Pepsi, and he is probably 16, maybe 17 at this point. He was 15 when he first started hanging out, but that was a while ago. So I'm gonna say he's 16 or 17. He hangs out here every once in a while. Haven't seen him in a long time, but hey, that doesn't even surprise me. And then Rick, we've got Kayla, and she's just 20. Although I haven't seen Kayla in a little while either, but that doesn't mean nothing. She can obviously come back anytime. But yeah, you're you're definitely gonna be in the younger zone, as it were. But that's okay because we need the kids to tell us what's up. Because we're old people and we need the kids to tell us what's going on. And You think Kayla might be on her Hawaii trip? That's what I thought, Rick. She was talking about Hawaii again. And so, so I'm not really surprised that she's not been around, because I think she's got something better to do. She's got a life to live. And that life took her to Hawaii. And let's see here, PB Bang, you don't really keep up with the kids. Your friends are pushing 30s or older. Yeah, well, when you get to be my age, you're a kid. And I'm a kid to somebody else. I know that. Even though, gall dang it, I'm almost 50. 2 weeks short of it. That's so bizarre. So bizarre. But, alright, so going back to what I was thinking we could talk about for a minute. We're going to talk about the Hokulea. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with, don't remember, whatever, the Hokulea is a boat that, it's an outrigger, it's a double-hulled canoe, basically, that is a traditional long travel boat that the Hawaiians used to travel further and further from the Hawaiian Islands than any real historian thought possible. And in 1976, they built this boat and said, historians be damned, we're going to prove to you that we had the technology and the ability, the history, the knowledge, etc., to go long distances without a map, without GPS, and we can get from one place to the next with our traditional navigating systems. And this boat has been traveling the South Pacific for decades now, successfully, with no more than and no less than the traditional knowledge of the stars and the currents and the winds, etc., etc. And so, Cindy Krause, you saw the Hokulea once setting sail. Excellent. Yeah, I'm hoping to catch it once it's in Seattle. Because here's the deal. Hokulea now is on a circumnavigation of the entire Pacific Ocean, which is going to take about 4 years. And they're starting up in Alaska right now. And they're starting up in Alaska for a couple reasons. First off, when you're going to circumnavigate, the Pacific, you probably want to start in the coldest place at a warm time of year, and we're getting to be the longest days of our year are happening like right about now. So we are going to, first off, we are going to watch this, and this will give you a little bit of an idea. Well, actually, you know what? First off, no. What we're going to do is, boop, we are going to look at this. This is a pole, a house pole from a Klingit longhouse pole that is currently located in the Bishop Museum on Oahu in Honolulu. And this particular gift was given to the museum by the tribes from Alaska to symbolize the friendship between the Alaskan natives and the Hawaiian natives, and their cultural bonds and what they share with one another. And so when I saw this at the museum when I was there this last year, I couldn't help but be drawn to it, because immediately I recognized the tribal insignias as something from the Pacific Northwest region, not the Hawaiian region, very distinctly Pacific Northwest. And so so I wanted to check more of that out. And so this is, okay, actually, here we go. Boop. You can see, so we've got the pole, and then we've got this little plaque at the bottom. This is what the plaque says. And so I'm going to leave this up here for a little bit. And then the reason why I'm going to leave this up here for a minute is because it will go back to what the news article that we'll be watching refers to. But basically, back in the day, there was some Hawaiians who needed to they wanted to build more canoes, right? But alas, the koa forests on the islands had kind of been depleted for logs that were big enough for the task. Well, the tribe up in Alaska, the Tlingit tribe up in Alaska, said, "Hey, we got you, brother. We got ourselves 2 Sitka spruce logs that we will donate to your cause." And so that is what this particular totem pole, for lack of a better word, although I don't believe that is the proper term, so please forgive me for using the wrong term. I'm going to call it a totem pole. I don't think that's really the technical term for it. But basically that is what this totem pole is symbolizes. And so it's the Tlingit House Post is a gift from the Sea Alaska Corporation to the Polynesian Voyaging Society and the Hawaiian people to commemorate the strong ties of friendship generated by the Hawaii Loa voyaging canoe and her crew. Because those spruce logs went to create the second long voyaging canoe. The first one was the Hokulea. The second one was the Hawaii Loa. So, without the wood that was given to the tribe, to the native Hawaiians from the local Alaskan tribes, this type of bond and friendship would not necessarily be so strong. And so now, boom, that's right, we're going to learn more about what this is all about.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to...
Well, Burien had a plan.
Okay, wait, maybe we're not. All right, I guess, what? Why won't this work?
All this week, Hawaii News Now will bring you stories from Yakutat, Alaska, where the crew of the Hokulea started its heritage sail. This is a pre-voyage before they embark on a 4-year Pacific-wide journey next month.
All right, oops, hold on, we're going to fix that out, but hold on. Darlene, we met a local at this one park who told us the story of this huge rock, this one huge rock where meetings were held, and to speak at these sessions you had to have a speaker staff handed to you. Is that something similar? No, I don't think so. Well, the speaking staff is something that is very common, but no, I think this is an actual house post. It's like, it's very large. This
is by plane or boat.
Oh yeah, this is broadcast quality right here. This is very big. There's no speaking staff, but they do, I think, in the plaque they do mention, I think, a staff. Yes, the figure holds a speaking staff in his right hand with the killer whale crest. So yes, I suppose that is a Tlingit tradition as well. And so, God dang it, this worked earlier.
All this week, Hawaii News Now will bring you stories from Yakutat, Alaska, where the crew of the Hokulea started its heritage sail. This is a pre-voyage before they embark on a 4-year
we're not going to watch that. Instead,
next month. Mahalani Richardson has the story.
We're going to watch this one instead. There we go.
New at 5, we're continuing our week-long series on Hokulea's heritage sail in Yakutat, Alaska. It was the first time in more than 100 years the isolated town welcomed a canoe to its shores.
Next month is the official launch of a 4-year Pacific-wide voyage. Our Mahalani Richardson and photojournalist John Suyat were embedded with the crew and show us how Hawaiian and Alaska natives are connected.
You grab your gang together and just make sure you go through all the tricing lines, no mistakes, okay? Kelly, line off. Let me know when you got it off.
Leaving the dock at Yakutat Bay, Alaska, Polynesian Voyaging Society President and Pole Master Navigator Nainoa Thompson leads with calculated intensity to make sure Hokulea and her crew are safe. While everyone is bundled up, Thompson wears his trademark rubber slippers. It's a short sail to a place called Sandy Beach for a welcoming ceremony. Every person on board has a task. For the crew, navigating through Alaska currents is a new experience.
It's so different. The current is very different. Its water is very challenging in a way. The weather change really quickly, so we have to adjust.
Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Even this reporter got the honor to help with the backbreaking job of steering and learning the ropes. The crew unwrapped Hokulea's giant sails to harness the power of the wind.
It's a beautiful morning in Yakutat. Temperature 48 degrees. The wind chill goes down into the 30s. I can tell you that when the crew opened the sails of Hokulea, you could really feel its full glory.
Close to shore, members of the Ganekwan clan began ceremonial protocol by asking who has come ashore.
From the areas of Moana Nui Akea, we are Napoya Hokulea. We are the Hawaiian people who are here. We are asking here for permission to come and learn from you and to share knowledge.
Once granted permission, the crew took a traditional canoe to the beach. With Thompson leading the way with paddle in hand. On land, a coming together of Hawaiian and Alaska natives to celebrate the historical migration and settlement ties between the two cultures during the 1800s.
I still can't believe that we're here with canoe, and then all this time we put on this canoe to be ready. It was just worth it, you know, everything is coming together.
Then a gift of warm blankets, symbolic of the warmth enveloping the crew. The last canoe arrival to Yakutat shores was around 1900. So Hokulea has given these Alaska natives an opportunity to practice this welcoming ceremony for the first time in more than a century.
It's an honor to us, and we're so happy. We've been looking forward to this, so happy.
Thank you so much.
After today's ceremony, the crew will take this Yakutat canoe back to the Hokulea and then sail back to the dock from Sandy Beach. Reporting from Yakutat, Alaska, I'm Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
Tomorrow, see Hokulea go on a frigid journey to a famous glacier. That's at 5 and 10 p.m. on KGMB and KHNL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Puzzicat. That's why I was sharing this with everyone. I feel like the connection between the Alaska natives and the Hawaiian and the native Hawaiians goes back much further than just those two logs that were gifted by the Tlingit tribe to build the Hawaii loa. It goes back even well, like they said, to the 1800s, as it were, and plenty Hawaiians made their way up to Alaska and the Pacific Northwest for various and assorted reasons of industry, and so Native Hawaiians have left their mark on the Pacific Northwest for hundreds of years, and there is that connection. And so, let's see here. So this is such a neat and frightening, for me also, it's a little bit frightening. It's such a neat idea for the Hokulea to be making this journey, but knowing the waters up here and how different they are from the waters of Hawaii, I can't help but just be a little bit nervous about what... These are dangerous cold waters, right? You know, and this boat Hokulea is not necessarily meant for a long journey in this type of these conditions, and so I'm very, very excited about this journey. But I feel a little bit nervous as well. And so they're going to be, after this, what's called the Heritage Journey, they're going to be going back to Juneau. And then after, I believe it's like, I think it's like maybe July 1st or something is when the actual circumnavigation of the Pacific is going to begin. And they're going to come basically down the southeast Alaskan coast along British Columbia waters into Washington, into the Salish Sea, and then they're going to go back out to the Pacific and go down the west coast, all the west coast of North and Central America to South America, and then they're going to cross over across Oceania. And if I had the map that I have, I'd be showing it to you right now, but I don't have it pulled up in my system because I wasn't thinking. And so you're just going to have to follow my finger through the imaginary map in my mind. Yeah, there we go. Hey there, Pratik. Good to see you. We are trying to talk about the Hokulea, the canoe from Hawaii that is circumnavigating the Pacific Ocean. But I have no map, and Rick is offended by that, which is rightfully so, because I'm offended by that I don't have a map for this topic. I mean, well, actually, I do have a map for this topic. I just don't have it ready to pull up. And Cindy Krause, you wonder if they will be around your coast. I would have to get a different map, but they will be coming along. I mean, whether or not they're going to be stopping, where they're going to be stopping in your area, cannot tell you. But they totally will be going down the entire coast of California. So they will be passing you at some point. And let's see here. So we've got that. All right, gosh darn it. You guys, I just really want to play that other stupid video. So hold on. I'm going to be.
He snores like an angry rhino.
I've never heard an angry rhino.
I'm going to insist upon things and stuff.
What does it sound like?
And so, you know.
I'll work on that. Visit sleepnumber.com to learn more.
Okay.
Aesthetics are an important part of how I work.
Okay.
My name is Marisol Gaga. I do contemporary women's wear.
All right, so you know what I should do instead? You know what?
It just allows me to be able to sit and have
yes, Darlene, I absolutely do have the map. I just need to go pull it out from some file folder that I don't remember where it's at. And so that's the sticky wicket at this point. But what I think I'm gonna do right now is, no, where did it go? Oh, here we go. All right, we're gonna look at this for a minute. What? Hold on, maybe we aren't gonna. What is going on? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're gonna look at this for a minute, and then. Oh, yeah, broadcast quality, you guys. Nothing but broadcast quality here.
All this week,
Okay,
Hawaii News
here
Now
we go.
will bring you stories from Yakutat, Alaska, where the crew of the Hokulea started its heritage sail. This is a pre-voyage before they embark on a 4-year Pacific-wide journey next month. Mahalani Richardson has the story.
Does your intent outweigh the risk? Well, this particular trip, it was keeping a promise to a very dear friend of mine.
To get to Yakutat, an isolated town in southeastern Alaska, the only way in is by plane or boat. Only 600 people live here, while cold, crisp air and pristine nature surrounds you. Before kicking off Moana Nui a Kea, the 4-year voyage around the Pacific in June, the crew is doing a heritage sale to say thank you to indigenous communities in Alaska, especially the family of business, political, and cultural leader Byron Malat, who was born in Yakutat and passed away 3 years ago. Malat donated 2 spruce trees used to build a second Hawaiian canoe, Hawaii Loa, more than 30 years ago. And on this day, his family sailed on Hokulea with Polynesian Voyaging Society president and Po master navigator Nainoa Thompson to honor him and carry his spirit on the voyage.
There's so much about Uncle Nainoa that reminds us of our grandpa, in a way of like he's still with us. In a way, this is the homecoming, like we're bringing my grandpa home in Uncle Nainoa.
We made a commitment to bring the canoe even though we didn't know how to do it.
When you were searching for those logs, did you ever dream that you and Hokulea would be here today?
Those are not realistic dreams. You know, as much as we believe in dreams, that would be something way outside our beliefs.
It took about a half hour to go from Byron Malat's house to the dock here in Yakutat, and everyone just enjoyed the beauty of the area.
I would just say, you know, how do you describe when you're just sort of overcome with a lot of emotions? You know, a lot of happiness, wonderful memories of the connection.
We wanted to make sure that we continue to connect to them, honor them, you know, with Byron Malat and his Ohana on board. It was an amazing opportunity for us to make our way up here with their family.
This is Hokulea's first visit to Alaska, 2/3 of the way to the North Pole. It's the farthest north the Hawaiian voyaging canoe has ever been.
The Gulf of Alaska is a really dangerous place to be out in.
Wearing cold weather gear, the crew is battling an Arctic chill in the 40s, but with wind chill, it goes down to the 30s. For Thompson, voyaging to Yakutat brings warmth, a reconnection with family, and preparing for a 4-year voyage that inspires future generations about healing the earth.
Do you want to wave big and say hi now? Wave big and say hi as loud as you can. Hi!
Reporting from Yakutat, Alaska, Mahealani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
Simple DIY mosquito trap kills 8,000 mosquitoes
All right,
in one night.
there we have
Here's
it.
how.
So,
How to kill all mosquitoes in the
Now
area
I
in 90
need
seconds.
to
This simple but brilliant trick you can do tonight to eliminate
something
all mosquitoes
to
around you
fix
is taking the
this.
U.S. by storm. And in
Yeah, that was just smooth, and I know exactly how to run a broadcast. Oh my, oh my. Okay, maybe not so much. And yeah, Gina, in the 40s, which frankly, I had to giggle because I was like, ooh, in the 40s, that's actually not that cold. So I know that for them it is Arctic type temperatures, but no, really, 40 degrees isn't as cold as Alaska can get. Trust me. In fact, that water is probably even colder. So yeah, try not to take a dip, shall we say? And let's see here. And Rick is coming in for Cindy. It looks like they will sail south past you, but their map does not say when. Yeah, I will look into the different maps because I have a couple different maps with little different pieces of info. So I'll see what I can find for you, Cindy, and trust me, this is a topic that, you know, if you don't like hearing about the Hokulea, this is probably not the channel to be hanging out on for the next 4 years because we will be talking about it. Probably not every stream, but it will be a topic that we're going to be revisiting without a doubt. And yeah, Gina, exactly. DC can get colder than that too. Yeah, I kind of giggled too. I was like, oh, 40, that's so sweet. That's so cute. That's so quaint. Pardon me while I point and laugh, but 40 degrees makes me say, ha ha. Ha All right, you guys, it is getting close to the bottom of the hour, which means it is time to wrap it up. I hope that, yeah, exactly, PPP Band, gotta respect my great-grandpa fighting war in negative 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you Finnish folk. Yeah, if you, of all people, I mean, you know, living in Seattle, I have a vague idea of what cold weather is. Alaska, especially coastal Alaska, has a vague idea of what cold weather is. Coastal areas generally are going to be a little bit milder, a little bit more temperate than the inland areas. Finland, you ain't nothing but inland and Arctic. I mean, that is all you is inland and Arctic. And if you're not Arctic, you're darn close to Arctic. So yeah, you of all people are the ones who should be able to point and laugh and just be like, you guys don't know what cold is, baby dolls. You have no idea what cold is. And Puzzicat. Okay, more Lono breaks next time. Okay, I will take that into consideration. That is a mandate that that I will be happy to oblige. I can't promise that the next Chatter with Statter will be a Lono-based story hour, but that will your wish will come true sooner rather than later, Puzzicat. And so happy to see you and Rick, Darlene and Rick, back from the house, and so hopefully we will see each other in about a half an hour on the Daily Pigeon podcast with Andy Bumatai and James Monet. But if we don't see each other then, that's okay. That's okay. Hopefully we'll be able to see each other on Sunday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, for Chatter with Statter. And before that, we've got ourselves the Statterbox at the cinema on Saturdays, 6 p.m. West Coast time. What are we going to watch on Saturday? I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping it's going to be Dogma. I am not promising it's going to be Dogma. If it is not Dogma, it probably won't be Catma either. What a silly joke. I don't know what it'll be if it's not Dogma, but it'll be something. And it'll be something good, I'm sure. All right, so super stoked that PPB Bang could come in with his Finnish self. I would be willing to bet that he might be drinking some coffee when he's with us. And that's right, I remember that little piece of trivia there, PPB Bang. And it's so great that we have our usual clan of folks, from Gina to Darlene and Puzzicat and Picola T and Rick and Cindy Krause. Super stoked you were able to come in and we got to hear about your chicken stories. Let's see, who else am I missing? Pradic, of course, in Australia. Can't believe the worldwide globetrotting audience that we've got today. And what else? All right, I am scrolling, and I probably missed a couple really important people, and I am not stoked about missing that. But I am stoked that we got to hang out here together. I'm stoked for all of the time we spend together and all of the stupid jokes that we laugh at, because sometimes the stupid jokes are the best. Okay, and let's see here. Rick, you had a greenhouse ice shelter and it was almost 60 degrees inside. Well, actually, 60 degrees inside for negative whatever it was that you were just bragging about, that's quite the differential. I mean, I'm not saying it's warm, but it's kind of warm in comparison to what it was. So let's see. And Cindy, your house is done, so maybe you'll have some more time to hang out here. I hope so. All right, you guys, it's 5:30 on the nose, so we are going to shut this broadcast down with one last thank you so much, and we will see each other soon. All right, take care, y'all.